What's up, Black family? We are back. That little thing is a little lag there. I think we were live for like 5 seconds. And I was just staring off into the distance. But we are happy to be back. This is the first episode of Blak OWN'D, a rebrand version of Black Business Initiative, and we have a familiar guest back, someone that is very special to me. We go way, way, way back. My good friend Alysha, owner of Aster Clothing. How you doing, sis?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. I just want to say that I love what you're doing. Like I told you before, I think it's a great expose to present Black entrepreneurs and put us on a pedestal and expose our business to other people. So I'm just happy to be here. Honestly, I've been on a little hiatus a little bit, so we'll definitely get into that to that as well. But
yeah. I mean, like it happens. People, and it happens. I was on a little one too. So like I don't know about yours. I don't know about your reasons, but I know mine were like personal that I talk about now. So, this is the first episode back. Like I said, I think this is 205 days sober. Ooh, whatever Sunday was 200 days.
Well, congratulations. That's definitely beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy for myself, and thank you for the support. I have a lot of support from all my friends and my family, and I'm back to life. So if anyone out there is listening to this that can relate to that or any other problem that sidetracked them, know that you are not alone. Reach out to people. You also reach out to me. I'll be just doing stuff.
Right.
So, yeah. So how have you been? What have we missed?
I've been pretty good. I could say. I think that I definitely went through something that a lot of people reached out to me, like a lot of entrepreneurs, and they told me they kind of went through the same thing. So I guess we'll just jump right into it. Like for me, like I had a lot going on in the summer. So the spring and the summer is when I fully dedicate to like my business when it comes to pop-up shop. So I was literally doing pop-up shop after pop-up shop, and in July I had to move. So everybody knows moving is stressful. I don't care if you're moving to the place of your dreams, it's just stressful. So with like dealing with a lot of stress on top of like personal stuff that was going on with my family, it was a lot going on. And then when it came down to like the pop-up shops I was doing, a lot of them were getting canceled back to back due to like weather, rain, things of that nature. That's outside of everyone's control. So I think it was like a combination of everything happening along with me transitioning to a new role. I had got a promotion. So with that just comes with a lot because one, I had a new schedule, which is an earlier schedule, which I'm not a fan of waking up super early, but like it was just a combination of everything. So I felt like I was being blessed, which I'm grateful for, but it was also an overwhelming feeling. And I felt like it was taken away from my creative drive and my drive for my business. So I was showing up for pop-ups and things of that nature, but my heart just wasn't in it. Like, if anybody follows me, they know I do a lot of like interacting with my followers on social media. I'll post all the time. I'll do a lot of content. But I just wasn't feeling it. I was in such a rut. And I remember telling a friend of mine, like, I just don't know what it is. I just can't shake it off. And I had watched, I'm a super fan. I don't know if you watched their podcast, but the Know For Sure podcast with B. Simone and Megan A. Brooks. I'm like a super fan of their podcast. And she was just saying like, if you lose your creative drive, think about the last place that you had it. Or if you lost your peace, think about the last time that you had it and what you were doing. So for me, it was honestly just realizing that I like to be around the people. I like to touch the people. I like to talk to the people. I like to get that feedback, firsthand when I'm at those pop-up shops, when I'm engaged, when I'm involved. And so it's been an up and down type of feeling because a lot of other entrepreneurs have told me that they've had that same issue where they feel like they lose their drive at some point. And there's nothing that you could really pinpoint why. It just, being an entrepreneur takes a lot. And if you're not there on a certain level, emotionally, physically, mentally, in all aspects of your life, that is just another thing that's going to like add on to the load. So I felt like I needed to take a break, like, because I felt like I was just putting so much emphasis on, I need to post every day. I need to create content. I need to, but the whole time I just needed a break. I needed a moment to breathe and not think about posting, not think about content, still attending my events, but just taking a step back from my business and just kind of making sure Alysha was okay. So that's what's been going on with me. So I'm back at a good place now. I have a pop-up shop next. I had one last week, and I'm taking a break because I've learned how to take a break. So I'm taking a break this weekend. Next week I'll be back out there.
So I don't think a lot of people do realize that. Even myself, I'm just realizing that watching a lot of other entrepreneurs, other podcasters that I watch. I haven't caught B Simone. Her friend's name is Megan.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I haven't caught that podcast, but I do listen to. I don't know if you know who Kevin on Stage is.
I've heard of him before.
Yeah, so he has several podcasts, and he has his own streaming service, Kevin on Stage Studios. He had one with his wife, and now she has her own podcast. And then Angel Moore and her husband Marcus Sanchez, they have their own podcast. It's a whole network.
Mm-hmm.
They all do all different things. So like, what I get from that, and then also listen to Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher.
The one that wear the Dior suits in Brooklyn?
No. That's Eric Thomas he's called the hip hop preacher, but he's a motivational speaker. So basically, like the message is like being an entrepreneur. Like people don't like some people that don't like working 9 to 5 jobs, but there is more stability in that. Because being an entrepreneur, that job can often be 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like you and I, like we both have regular full-time jobs as well. Like the drain can be a lot.
A lot. Like yesterday, I really felt like depleted when I laid down because it was literally, I got up for work at 4:30. What did I do after I got up for work? I went to go to the grocery store. After I went to the grocery store, I worked out. After I worked out, I came and went through all my inventory, updated my website, promoted a sale, was able to get in the shower, lay down. By the time I laid down, it was probably like 11:30, 12 o'clock. And I'm like, I literally had no me time for today. So I think that if you want to be an entrepreneur, because something that I have seen is that a lot of people who've started their businesses, like we all know, small businesses grew tremendously in 2020. A lot of people no longer have their business. A lot of people are no longer, I guess, interested in that side of things because they see how real it can get. Sometimes you're your only cheerleader, pushing yourself and motivating yourself. You can get ideas from this person, that person, to ask what they think, what they like. But when you have a business, that's your baby. And if you really love what you do, like you're really passionate about what you do. So for me, like I'm super particular in what events I participate in. The quality of my items, and just the way I present my business. Like, it's just a lot that goes into it. So it's just not easy. So if that's something that people are thinking like, oh, I'll quit my 9 to 5 and do this. Like, it's not easy. I mean, I can say that with pop-up shops, they are super lucrative for my business. I'm grateful for that. So I think that's why I enjoy it, because not only am I making money firsthand, but I hear people saying, I love this. Or I'll see people that purchased my items before, like, girl, I love that bonnet never come off. Or look, I still got my stuff on. What you got new, stuff like that. And that motivates you. And I think that I wasn't realizing with those canceled pop-up shops what that was doing to my mental, because I didn't really have anything pushing me or motivating me. And when I'm in front of the people, when I'm engaging with the people, I realize for me, that's what helps me get what I need out of, being an entrepreneur. The fact that people love my products. I'm just not an entrepreneur because I want to make money. I love the fact that I'm helping. Like everything that I create is purposeful. Down to my newest product, my shower cap. Like people are not thinking about shower cap. Like people are throwing a little plastic shower cap, or if you black and brown, you throwing on a trash bag from Kroger's or Pat Book, you tied it right bag. That's just what we do. But I felt like, okay, there's a need for this. Like I don't like doing this. Like, I want to look cute when I'm in the shower, or if I'm, I don't want to necessarily, and I wanted to make sure it's protective. So I created an extra large shower cap, which is not even a thing, like, because most of the shower caps halfway cover. Extra large, it covers your full head, no matter if you have this type of style, if you have even your type of style. It's set in line, so it's protecting our natural hair. So there's a lot of things that I do that are purposeful. So I could put out anything, but I make sure that it's a purpose behind it, so I'm able to speak on what I put out. So I I think for me, my biggest things are always going to be quality, and it's going to be engaging and touching and talking to the people. Because people tell me what they want. Like, people are like, do you have this? Like, they'll ask me, like, do you have this? And I'm like, okay, is a need for this. They like this. Or I'll see stuff that's flying off, you know, when I'm in person versus compared to what people like to buy online versus what they gravitate towards to when they see it in physical. So it's a lot that comes with it. And I feel like everybody kind of has their thing when it comes to business or their business in particular. Like, e-commerce may be great for other people, but I think like I do tremendously well when I'm in front of the people. So it just varies.
E-commerce is online sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There we go. So that was one thing I wanted to bring up with you. It's I have it down here. It's you are literally meeting the people where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So like as opposed to being online, it's like your online presence. I wouldn't say like it's not big, but like you are my favorite. You are not an influencer. But if you ever were to go down that avenue, you would be my absolute favorite. You already are one of my absolute favorites.
I appreciate that.
I call you Model Alysha every day. Correct me if are you still working mostly alone?
Yeah, so I've thought about you know, getting an assistant. I'll put out, you know, opportunities for that. But and I appreciate everybody who have applied. So if you listen to this, is no shade. I just feel like at this point in my life, nobody can love my business the way I love my business. Like, I feel like my business is still, it's still new. Like, I'm not even 2 years in yet. I've been doing very well for myself, but I just feel like I'm the type of person, and I hope you guys are listening to this, that have applied for things that I have put out there. Because at some point I feel overwhelmed and I'm like, oh, I wish, like before I used to work on Saturdays. So I was like, I need somebody to be at these events on Saturdays that I can't make and things of that nature. So I was feeling overwhelmed in that area. So that's why I was giving off those opportunities. But I feel like because my business is so new and I know me as a person, I'm an alpha female, and I'm that type of person. Like, if you know me personally, professionally, like when I want something done, I want it done. So who else can better serve me in that arena than myself? So I feel like if I'm like, oh, I need a swimsuit picture by tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and goes and I don't have that picture because you're supposed to be my brand ambassador, now we have an issue because I needed this by XYZ date, but you may not have felt like it was that important to you, so to speak, because it's not your business. So I laugh when you say Model Leash, because I think you, out of all people, know that I strongly dislike modeling for myself, or
but you're so good at it.
I guess it's just not my thing. I just do it because like I need to do it, and I think that people like to see me in it because I am not the BBL girl. I am not I am not like the model girl, but I have a natural body and they've seen me. Like, I used to be super, super skinny. Now I have some weight on me. So I feel like they understand like that I'm a regular person just like them. So I feel like people like it when they see me in it versus if I just post the pictures of the item. So I do it. But it's not my favorite thing to do. But I feel like I'm able to, like, hey, when a package arrives, I can throw in my stuff and take a photo and get the content out there fast enough. I definitely feel like I enjoy making content when my heart's in it. Like, I super enjoy making content. I just think that I have to get to that mental space again. I feel like I'm gradually getting there. Honestly, I feel like I was thinking today, I was like, I think I want to make some content, you know, this weekend and this upcoming week. So I think if I really was like super consistent with my content, it would be a beast mode, you know, city. But I just feel like I want to make sure that I'm also balancing my personal life too. Like, I want to still have a personal life while running my business. And I think it's possible, you know, because my business is not going to stop when I have children, when I get married. So I'm going to have to find that work-life balance, you know, within. So I want to start now.
So I bring that up to say, like, your online skills to me are impeccable, but you have more of, I guess today, what they would call a grassroots kind of approach to it, where you do more pop-up shops than you are online.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say, well, I don't know if you want to share some information, do you compare e-commerce sales to in-person sales? How do those weigh out?
They don't hold a candle when it's warm outside. So from April to like around this time, like I can go to a pop-up shop and make like $1,000 in 5 hours. I can go and make 500. I can make, certain amounts. And these are like realistic amounts that I've made. So, or I can go to, when it's the colder months, people lean more to e-commerce because the pop-up shops are not happening. So around this time is when I know I'm going to make my presence more known online, because it's getting about that time where it's getting cold outside, where people be more so in the house and they'll more likely go online to purchase something versus coming to the Diamond or Manchester Manifest to come and see me or any other vendor to purchase something. So I feel like within the last year, I've realized what I need to cater to and where I need to cater to. So that's why I think it was okay for me that I wasn't so active online when it started to get hotter. Like I felt bad about it at first, but I'm realizing like I don't have time. I'm literally in the field. Like what they say on TikTok, get in the field. Like I'm literally in the field. So it was me like literally training for a new position Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, or Saturday or Sunday, depending on what day the pop-up shops are. Some days I'll do both days. I'm literally out there dealing with people and selling my merchandise. So I feel like you just gotta, it depends on what time of the year it is, honestly. Where the money rolls in and, different times. I feel like these are kind of like around school time, like August, school starts here. So it gets kind of slower I feel like entrepreneurs around this time, especially because school is happening and people are purchasing things for their children and stuff like that. But now that it's getting into October, it's definitely about that time where e-commerce is going to pick up for my business. So that's why I've definitely been more active within this week, and I'm going to continue being more active because I know that's how I draw the attention to my business to lead them online to my website.
Yeah, I bring that up to say because a lot of people do forget about the hustle offline, because you do always have, like, we're not like, hey, like what happens if we have a blackout? What happens if we don't have Wi-Fi? What happens if you get locked out of your IG account, your Twitter account, your TikTok account? What happens when you lose that online connection? You have to hit the streets. You have never lost that connection. I admire how much the actual, like, hitting the streets, like actual meeting the people where they are, talking to them. I admire how much that means to you.
Yeah, it feels amazing. I feel like I'm exhausted at the end of the day, doing those pop-up shops, because especially if it's outside, it's the summertime, setting up the tent, doing the 1-2. But I just feel like I just like to hear from the people. I love to hear them, like, even if you don't buy nothing from me, but you're like, oh, this is so cute. Like, that makes me feel good. Like, okay, my merchandise is good. Like, you don't really hear that. Like, a person will go and purchase something online, but it's very rare that they'll give a review if it's good, which is sad. Like, they'll give a review if it's horrible, but if it's really good, like, it's really pulling teeth to get a review, which should be the opposite. So, yeah, I'm definitely, and like, I'm an introvert and an extrovert, so they call that like an omnivert. So depending on the scenery or whatever, I can definitely show my personality. I think you've known me a very long time. I think it's over 20 years now. And one thing about me is, like, I do have a big personality, but I also have that part of myself where a lot of people don't know that I have a big personality because they haven't seen me in my comfort zone. So for some people, it's the norm to see me online and acting out a skit or putting out content. And then other people, it's like, I never knew you were this funny, or I never even knew you spoke this much, or, because they haven't seen me in my habitat, like where I'm comfortable at. So I think it's I like it because it shows who I really am deep down, because I'm super goofy. I just like to have fun. So you guys will definitely be seeing more content from me for sure.
Have you done pop-up shops out of state, like out of Virginia?
Have I done? I have not. I was trying to think. No, all of my pop-up shops have been around Virginia. I've thought about coming outside of Virginia, but I have a lot of merchandise. So, like, it would really have to be worth my time.
Okay.
Worth my time, because one, that's gas. Two, the opportunity has to be there. A lot of people, and I want to speak about this too, in the pop-up world, I know a lot of vendors can relate. A lot of people that host pop-up shops, I want to say 90% of them heart is not in it for the right reasons. They're in it to make money, which is obvious. We all want to make money, but the main goal should also be pulling up Black entrepreneurs and making sure that you guys are putting small businesses on a pedestal and doing it the right way. A lot of people don't understand that when you are a pop-up shop host, like you're pretty much a promoter. Like people are coming out on your name alone. Like, so when pop-up shops hosts say like, oh, like you're responsible for bringing people and this and there's like, these already are my customers. So the people that see me already my customers. Like for the last year, like my biggest sales have been in Houston, Texas. Now I don't know who I know in Houston, Texas, but thank you because I get so Florida, Houston, Texas, New Orleans, like so it's like a lot of people that follow me are all over the place, you know. So and who support me are all over the place. So it's like because I'm having a pop-up shop in Richmond, Virginia, does not mean that I'm going to have those 500-600 people that follow me to come to this pop-up shop because my base is in different places. And I feel like when you're a host of a pop-up shop, you're automatically making money because we have to pay you in order to participate in here. So one, we're having faith in you and your name, and the people need to have faith in you and your name in order to bring these things out. Now, yes, we are going to entice the people with what we sell because they're going to be intrigued and want to purchase what we sell. But the goal, in my opinion, of a host, you need to be popping. When you're a party promoter, a club promoter, like you have to be a very popular person for people to want to participate and partake in what you have going on. And a lot of pop-up shop hosts, they don't have that. Like you have to have some type of clout, honestly. And a lot of people don't have that. They don't have that, those people coming out and supporting them or, you know, or like really coming out to see what they have going on. Their name is not known out here. So it's like, we're coming based off your name, but you have nobody at the pop-up shop. So I done gave you $150 to participate in this event, but it's only 20 people that have came for the last 6 hours. So I've lost money and you've made money. And you're going to continue to do this. You're going to take photos of when those 20 people are there talking to us at a table to put together a story to post as if your event was popping when it wasn't. And I think that's super unfair when it comes to us because we work hard for our money. Like I don't touch my business money. So I work for my pop-up shop money. Like when I use my money, I'm using the $150 or the $100 from my work that I work 9 to 5 for. So when I'm putting that money towards you and then I'm not even breaking even, I'm not even making $100, it's crazy to me. Where I can go to another event, as soon as I step foot and put up my tent, it's over with. I'm touching $500 within 3 hours. We have a problem here. And I think that they like to blame it on us because they're like, oh, well, you guys didn't bring people out. I cannot force people to come out. You're an event host. You're hosting an event. You're supposed to be bringing the people out. Like I can try and post and do what I can, but realistically, this is what your job is. Your job is to bring me these people. I'm paying you to bring me these people. So I've learned a lot in the pop-up shop where I want to say in the last year. And certain people with certain things have definitely put a bad taste in my mouth. So I definitely do my own research and I'm big on word of mouth. So I'll ask a vendor quick. You ever work with this person? How was it? What was going on? Because I feel like I was getting into situations where it's, and I've seen so many other people posting about it where it's like, why are we spending so much money and not making anything? One of the pop-up shops that I did, I probably did for 4 hours. And I made some of the top dollar money. And the pop-up fee was only $30. He only charges $30. He had the event in the mall. He was super professional. And we made so much money. And he didn't even tax us that. Like, he really could have taxed us because we were in a prime area, the mall. So that goes to show where your intentions are. And when I was speaking to a vendor at the last event I went to last weekend, she mentioned him to me. She was like, he's great. Like, if you want to do a pop-up shop, she didn't know I already did one with him. She was like, he's super professional. He was like, he's on point. And we made money there. And I'm like, word of mouth goes a long way because the same way that as vendors, we're going to talk about situations that were great and financially good for us. We're going to talk about those bad situations too. Like it's some pop-up shop hosts that will never see my face again that I block directly after like the event is over because it's just unrealistic. So I definitely feel like I have learned my lesson when it comes to those type of things, and I'm super, 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 super particular when it comes to those things as well.
So to piggyback on that, so I do, as someone who like I go to black owned business pop-up shops all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have get it out advice for other entrepreneurs who are working, who are selling at the pop-up shops. Hopefully this isn't something that happens at the ones that you go to. I'm pretty sure you don't do this. But for everyone else, even like I said, even if there's only 20 people in 3 hours at this pop-up shop, you need to capitalize on all 20 of those people that are there. I think this was back in January. I went to my homegirl Andrina. Well, it wasn't her pop-up shop, but she was working it. She's a baker. So she hit me up about it. I told her definitely I would pop up. I kept my promise as I always do. I went there. I went there to support her. But I did walk in with a pocket full of cash to a pop-up shop. I walked by at least because she was downstairs on on the second, on the bottom, on the subfloor. I walked by at least a dozen different vendors, and no one even looked my way. No one
Mm-hmm.
tried to get my money, and I was interested. Like I came to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, the first young, I don't know her name. I don't remember the name of the business. I didn't know her. The first young lady I came to the door. She was selling clothing. First table that was there. I walked straight up to her table. I was looking at things. I was interested. Didn't even look at me.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't look my way. Didn't look at me. Didn't say hello. And me like I'm also an ambivert. I am a very shy person. At
Mm-hmm.
this point, it was like it's not that I didn't want to spend money. It was like I felt like maybe my presence was bothering her, or she didn't feel like I felt like I was because like she like
Mm-hmm.
acted like we were in the club and I was trying to talk to her. She didn't want to talk to me. I was afraid to say something because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, maybe she don't care. And then like I went downstairs. Those things like right next to hers where she was, and I bought her table up.
Mm-hmm.
Bought at least a dozen cupcakes for myself. I hit my girl up, see what she wanted. Hit a friend up, see if he wanted anything. I go drop it off. I did my part, but like I still had a pocket full of cash. I just wanted to spend. There was like a vendor that had Philly cheesesteak egg rolls right next to her.
Mm-hmm.
I went over there among us. I just wanted Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. But if I was a shy person, like you can say hello to people when they come in.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you gain customers. You can't just sit there and expect people to just come to you. You have to be open person. You have to be inviting.
For sure. I think sometimes like people have that defeated mentality when they see it's not a lot of people that's coming in. I think one thing for me, like if you're walking past my table, I'm always going to speak. I'm just going to say, hey, how you doing? Like even if you're not walking towards me, but you're walking past it, I always, greet you. And if you come over, I'm definitely giving you an intro of my business name. And my favorite thing is to say is like, let me know if you have any questions. Because one thing I do not like to do is overbear people. Like sometimes like for me, I know for me, when I shop, I don't want you in my ear every 5 minutes. Do you like this? Do you see something that you like? Like I don't want you in my face. Like if I want to buy something, I'm gonna buy something. So I'm very big on giving people their space and letting them know, like, hey, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to help type situations. But I think it's definitely sometimes just a defeated mentality. Like you feel like, oh, I expected this, but I'm not getting this. But I definitely agree. Make the best of your situation. Because you never know. Like it is people like I feel like I went to a pop-up shop and it was slow, but it was one person that came near dropped like 150 at my table, like just one person. So that made a difference because that one person covered the fee was I think like $75. So like almost with double, she covered that fee for me. So you never know who you're coming across. Or who would purchase later. Like a lot of people, I feel like when I engage with them, they're like, what's your Instagram or this and the third? And I have relationships with people that I do not recall ever meeting, but they're telling me, I met you here, I met you there. And, they'll come if I post a funny meme and on my business page, laugh and they'll engage with me. And I'm just like, I must have met her somewhere or, stuff like that. So I think it's good. You just never know who you can meet. So I definitely want to travel outside of Virginia, but I think that it definitely has to be one of those worthwhile type of situations because you never want to be 3-4 hours away and it's just like nah, like nah, we not at that point in my business. I can speak for myself where I'm just willing to take losses like that. Like nah.
So I want to speak a little bit about the defeatist mentality
Mm-hmm.
So your opinion may be different, but I don't think that. I'm saying like it's life and we get like that sometimes. But like no matter if you want to be, if you want to be any kind of anything, I think you have to fight that as much as possible. Especially like if you're already at the pop-up shop, you're already in the heat of battle. Like you have to give it your all, no matter what. Like you can't like for me like mentally, if I even if I even have the slightest thought that I'm going to fail, that leaves room for failure.
I agree. I just think that it's easier said than done because
Definitely.
we're still human. So like I've been at pop-up shops where it's like I'm beefing with my dude and I'm already emotionally like unstable because I have that going on. And then on top of that, like I didn't get to get breakfast this morning because I was running late, so I'm starving and I really can't leave my table because I don't want to miss a sale. And then I didn't really get any breaks this weekend because I did 2 pop-up shops back to back and I got to work tomorrow. So I think it's a lot that goes on because I've been in places where I just felt not my best. Did I try to show that? No, I try to fight through it like you said, but everybody's battling something different. And mental illness is real and it derives from different places and different things. So I think that, if you could fight it, and if you can't, take that break that you need. Because I think that we don't realize how much we could relate to each other. I actually posted some content. I want to say this was around like the beginning of August. And I said, it was like they had this thing trending on TikTok with Kodak Black dancing like, get him Black, get him Black. And it's me doing a dance that Kodak was doing, like dancing, but then like the caption is like something of the sort. I don't remember exactly, but it was like when you finally get your creative drive back after being after losing it for a few months or something like that. And it was so many people DMing me, like business owners, like, girl, you got no idea. Oh, this is me. Like, and I would have never known because nobody was sharing that. Like, I'm just the type of person where it's like, I'm just an honest person. Like, I can't be nothing else but honest. So I was just living in my truth. And to see so many people messaging me saying that they felt the same exact way or that they experienced the same exact thing really was refreshing because it made me realize I wasn't alone. It made me realize that we have a lot going on just in this world in general. And then trying to be entrepreneurs, still have, a 9-to-5, or if you don't have a 9-to-5, that's even harder because you really are dependent on your business solely. So it's a lot that's going on, but I think that mental health was just something that was super big to me. It's always been super important to me, but I think like experiencing and I still can't really pinpoint because I don't feel like I was in a depressive state. I don't feel like that. I've always had anxiety, extreme anxiety, but it wasn't even that. I just felt like I was just down, like it was like a slump or something, and I could not pinpoint what it was. Like I just felt like I was not myself for like 2-3 months. So I think that, like you said, if you could fight through it, but if you cannot fight through certain things, then really find out how to balance what the issue is or what makes you happy. Even if you can't pinpoint what the issue is, start to find things that make you happy. For me, it was really going outside and enjoying myself, non-business related. Like everything I was doing was like literally work, Monday through Sunday, 24/7. So for me, it was having those days where I just didn't post anything on social media because I didn't have to, because I didn't want to. Making sure that, I'm going out on dates and enjoying myself and experiencing the summertime, because that's unfair when you have a partner too, because that partner is, your assistant, whether they like it or not. And sometimes like all of that can take away from you being in a relationship because you're literally working nonstop, and then you still have to entertain that person and give that person attention and cook and do other stuff and still spend time. So I found that like sometimes it'll be like 8-9 o'clock, I'm just winding down after cooking, after working on business, and then we just looking at each other like, dang, it's about to be 10 o'clock and I'm tired. So I think just finding those things that make you happy, I think that's what really helped me, is just finding what brings me joy and doing it and not feeling guilty about it, because I always had guilt. Like if I was doing something that didn't have something to do with my business, that I didn't like, if I didn't want to post content, I was forcing myself, and I feel like it was not genuine, you know. So
yeah, I would like I get that way too. Like whenever like because I have a girlfriend. We live together. I love spending time with my girlfriend. I love spending time with my mother as well. I love speaking with my friends and family. I love doing that. Like whenever I watch TV with my girl, I do feel guilty.
mm-hmm.
Because I just sit there like, well, like I could be making videos right now. I could have scheduled an episode right now. Even though like I constantly take notes.
Mm-hmm.
I constantly look for things for content. Even though I really like I don't want to reach like influencer level, which is kind of like because for me that would be a little annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like ever like for me the best thing is like this right here where I can connect with a friend, which is even like even better. But like Black-owned business owners, I can help people promote their business, and we do Black Women Wednesday where I can just help uplift Black women, give them their flowers, help them promote whatever they're working on, make sure that they feel appreciated. Like I've got to rename it, but like Brotherhood, where I can just have this mental health conversations that I have with other Black men, where they have a space to open up. That's the things that like I like to do with my platform.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I need to find content, I do like I comment on like celebrity stuff, and like I don't particularly like doing that, but like I can do it. I don't want to gossip about them.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to open up the conversation to see how like what other people think about this.
Right.
Which is better for me. But like even like constantly doing all of these things, like I like spending I like having personal time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, like you do feel guilty for taking time yourself. Like you feel like because it'd be like while I'm like I'm taking an hour or 2 hours to watch TV, Diddy's still hustling.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z still hustling, and like the way Diddy act, like, and it is admirable. Like, I get where he's coming from. Diddy straight just be like, yo, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Mm-hmm.
And I just be like, damn, like if Diddy like I always feel like if Diddy was sitting over my shoulder, Diddy would be like, you lazy ass nigga. Cause you like turn the TV on, just like, but yeah, I get it. But then, but Diddy doesn't show him. But when he does show himself resting, it's like he's in like Europe on a yacht and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was all like. But like when you're not at that level, there's that in the back of your mind is like, should I be resting right now?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that, like you have to appreciate the journey while you're on it.
For sure.
You have to take time for yourself to do that.
For sure. I think that balance is important. I think I've really learned that. And I think that's what kind of helped me get out of the rut that I was in, because I started doing things that I like. I was expressing how I feel, because I go to therapy. So I was expressing to my therapist what I was feeling. I was expressing to my friend what I was feeling. And I think that, it was really just them reiterating the fact that you need a break. And I'm like, I need a break. They're canceling all my pop-up shops. What do you mean? I need to find something else. And just like, nah, you need to like go to an event, because like it's an event that I do called Manchester Manifest. I love it. It's coming up on the 7th, and they do it every month in the beginning of the month. But it's like a block party. They cut off 3 blocks, and they really just like have a DJ. I mean, people be out there like turning up. It's like beautiful to see, because there's no violence. They've been doing it for like 6 years. It's beautiful. And I just remember being there, and I'm like, I want to be out there in the crowd. Like, they're having a blast. Like, I want to have a blast. Like, I want to go to these events and enjoy myself and not have to work. And I remember saying that to my friend, and he was just like, well, then you need to make sure that you book an event. I mean, you don't book an event and you attend the event and enjoy yourself and don't feel guilty about it. Like, take off this weekend, decide you're not going to do any pop-up shops, and then attend a pop-up shop as a patronizer instead of, a person that's trying to sell somebody something. And I think that was important for me, because like I said, I used to just feel super guilty. So that was just definitely something that really helped me just like realize, like once you realize, like, you have to live in the moment. These months, these days, these weeks are going by so fast. It's like, it's already about to be October. It's like, what are we really doing? So I really want to make sure that I enjoy myself. Like I did a pop-up last week. I thought about doing a pop-up this week, but I was asking around, but then I just decided, no, I'm gonna just chill this week. And I didn't feel nothing better about it. So I'm just chill this weekend. I'm gonna sleep in. I'm enjoying myself, and then the following week we'll do something then. But so definitely work-life balance is important.
Yeah. So AR in the comments said it's important to have a work-life balance. If you don't, you get burnt faster. It is a struggle though. Well, she's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
I can't see any comments, so I see it at the top. I see it there. Yeah, it's super important to have a work-life balance. I feel like I think it before I even had a business, I was in a relationship for like 8 years, and that was just something that we battled with. That my partner just having a good work-life balance. It was just super complex, and a lot of people say like, oh, like relationships end because of infidelity, because of this, because of that, but it really was just not having a good work-life balance. Like you want to buy me a house, you want to make sure I'm good financially, but you're not present to actually experience all these things with, because you don't have a good sense of work-life balance because you're grinding, which is admirable, but it's like if you can't find that balance, it's what are we doing it for? What are we doing it for? Like, I'm going to be in a house, nice car, kid by myself, really, because you out grinding trying to make this money for this type of situation. So, I definitely feel like that really opened my eyes to like having good work-life balance, but then going through my rut in the situation with my business, I realized like, I definitely need to have some work-life balance and just enjoy myself and not feel guilty. So now I really do not feel guilty at all. Like if I'm like, oh, I'm not doing nothing this weekend, then I'm literally not doing nothing this weekend, and that's it.
Yeah. It's also important for everyone to keep in mind, like if you don't take, like as AR said, you get burnt out faster. If you don't take time for yourself, life will take that time for you, and it may be a longer time than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we started this off, I did speak about like today, I either 205 or 206 days sober. I wanted to start doing episodes a lot earlier than this. But like I started treatment. I started it was outpatient treatment for alcoholism. So I do go to therapy. I do go to groups. In those groups, they help me pinpoint all these problems and like how it got to this point, how it got this bad. Basically, I did not take the time to make sure that I was okay. To realize I would have had the problem a lot earlier. And like I wanted to start episodes a lot earlier, but speaking to my counselors, they told me to wait. Because it's like basically like you have to hold off on this. Because if you start overworking yourself the same way you did before, you're just gonna fall back into the same pattern.
Yep.
So like I would have started this like at least 3 months ago. Also, I'm considering going back to school for peer counseling, but we'll see. I would have joined for this semester, but they told me like you got to keep pushing that. But it's like you have to take things one step at a time. Which they like I want to work a lot more than I am, but they like you have to take the time for yourself.
For sure.
Or else you're gonna either go back to where you were, or you're gonna fall into another addiction, another fit of depression, anxiety, or whatever. So that was me. I didn't take the time for myself and slow down. Life took that time for me. Now I'm just I have to be patient with myself and give myself grace.
Right.
Long
Yes. Yes. 100%. Grace is key. Like, I'm glad you said that, because that's something that I speak about as well a lot on my personal page, is giving myself grace. I have a hard time giving myself grace. I'm so hard on myself. It's like I can give other people like the benefit of the doubt like a billion times, but me, like I'm so hard on myself. I'm so strict on myself. Like it's just like, even my therapist literally told me like, you need to give yourself grace. Like I was just like, and I kept hearing it. Like so many people kept reiterating that to me, to the point where I was like, it got embedded in my head. Like every time I heard the word grace, it just resonated with me, because everybody kept telling me like, cut yourself some slack, relax, girl. So I'm glad you said that, because that definitely registered to me. Like definitely give yourself some grace, and give yourself that same love that you give other people, that same benefit of doubt that you give other people, that same understanding that you give other people. And if you don't give other people that, learn to give other people that, because you know where you need that. So I definitely think this episode need to be give yourself some grace because that's for sure like super important.
It really is. So you briefly, well, you kind of like touched on it earlier, but I didn't want, so before I forget, I want to go back to it. You said like you spoke with other vendors when you were speaking about like pop-up shops, and after you posted kind of about like you taking time off, and they hit you up
Mm-hmm.
and said like they were overworked and overwhelmed too, and they had the same feelings as you did.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, have you connected with many other Black entrepreneurs along your journey, like professionally, personally?
I have. I feel like I want to do more. I just went to this Black Girl Magic seminar, and it's a few people there that I actually follow. They follow me back, and they have great platforms, and they're open to interview and engage with young Black entrepreneurs like myself. Especially one has a podcast. I don't know if you remember, but I did have a podcast like in 2020. Like that was my thing for a while before I started my business. So I like to come on podcasts. I like to learn from people. And I think it gives, my business a great exposure as well. And I think we can help people having this type of dialogue. So I've definitely recently connected with them, and I'm looking forward to reaching out to them more so that we can create a relationship and possibly combine our two ventures with my business, and I'm having those type of platforms to come up with something great. But outside of that, for sure, vendors, I've met a lot of great vendors, a lot of great pop-up shop hosts that I think have just the most beautiful spirits, like that just have the right intentions. Like when you meet certain people, their heart is pure, and I like that because one thing I do is I always move with good intention. So it's nice to meet other people that's in the same field as you, that it can kind of be a dog eat dog, type of world, that are still kind-hearted, are still gentle, are still willing to give you the game. Like it's one person in particular, and she does waist beads. Her Instagram is Mindful of Rain. Definitely check her out. I
You can
reached out to her.
follow her.
Yeah, I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, do you have like, is there any pop-up? I recently just wrote her like yesterday. I was like, hey, is there any pop-up shops happening this weekend? Stuff like that. She'll tell me about those things. She'll be like, oh, don't do that one. Oh, that one is a good one. And like when we're there, we just chitter chat. Like I'll go to events that I'm not even hosting just to come and see her, support her. We'll just talk and have great dialogue. So she's one of the very great people that I've met along this journey that I'm grateful for. It's just I think it's just a beautiful thing. Like it's certain people that I went to an event last weekend, and certain people I do not recall them, but they remember me, which is a good thing. And I don't think my memory is bad, but I just feel like I see so many people that it's hard to recall. But that were walking up to me, and they were vendors themselves, and like, hey girl, I got your stuff on, or hey queen, or stuff like that. They're always so welcoming. So I think one thing that I've realized within the small business world, especially with Black businesses, like we're very loving. Like I never came across anything that was nasty, that was catty, petty, none of that. Like it's all been positive. Like I feel like the situations with the host are different, but the actual vendors, like great energy, like great energy. I haven't experienced anything that was anything less, honestly. Like, so I'm definitely blessed. I think in that arena because other people may not have had the same experience, but I haven't had any type of bad experiences that I can think of, honestly, when it came to a vendor. I feel like if anything, like they support me tremendously. They'll buy things from me, and they'll bring other people to purchase things from me. So
I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that because I'm surrounded by that too. Like I don't have like, as far as like general podcasts go, I don't have a huge network. Most of the podcasters I know are wrestling related. I'm also like I think you should know. Like I'm also an independent wrestler, so I'm still in that scene. I'm also I'm on a hiatus from that as well, as like I'm with like alcoholism, but that's in the past now. But like I did an event. I sponsored my first event about a month ago. As wild as you said, Black Girl Magic, because it was an all Black women's wrestling show called Black Girl Magic. It was in Brooklyn, New York, so right in my hometown. Like ironically, down the block from where I moved from.
mm-hmm.
So I got to go there, and most of them, it's like at least there's Dirty Heels Wrestling Podcast, women's wrestling talk, Jobber Tears Podcast, my family. All these different we all came together to sponsor this one event just to make sure that it would succeed. It was a beautiful moment. It was like very beautiful, very Black. It was like a 2-day event. There was another show the next day. Jobber Slam was the very next day. Also, I didn't sponsor that one. Most of the same podcasts sponsored that one. And it's beautiful that we live in a time where like all of us are like, we're all trying to come up. And like, well, I can't say no one because I don't know everybody, but like at least like in our networks, no one's being selfish. No one's being over competitive. I see the other podcasts, they all invite me on like whenever I'm ready. They all have each other on their podcast. And there's wrestling. They all talk about the same thing. But it's no beef. There's no catty shit. They're just like, hey, like, we can all come together. We can all build. No matter what, it's an uphill battle for all of us. And it's very nice to see everyone marching up that hill together hand in hand instead of like the crab in the barrel mentality.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. So that is very beautiful. I'm happy for you. And also like, hey, and also so everyone that's watching this, you yourself, any Black-owned business, I would love to do this more. I'd like to do this every week. All Black-owned businesses, you can hit me up in my DMs, hit the comments. I want to connect with all Black-owned business owners so we can help expand their reach, promote their products, the merchandise, whatever, promote other podcasts, whatever. I just love doing this. This is a beautiful thing.
Agreed.
And so we're a little while in. So we've been talking about your merchandise this whole time. So we do have some samples here that I can bring up on the screen. Like, tell me about some of your favorite pieces.
I think one of my favorite pieces right now, and has been for since I dropped it, is the robe. I love the robe. Like, it's great quality. And I feel like you can wear it whether it's the spring, summer, winter, fall. So it's versatile in that arena. And I just think it looks fly. Like, it's grown and sexy. So that's one of my favorite pieces is the robe.
Do I have a picture?
The photo that you used originally, where I have the braids in and I'm smiling, I have the robe on, but I'm wearing it as a shirt. So that was another thing. I like to switch up my items. So when I go to pop-up shops, I wear my items. And some people are like, where you get that shirt? Like, you sell that shirt? I'm like, girl, this is a robe. I tied it up here, and I'll have those type of tutorials on my page where it shows how I transition the robe to a shirt. So I'm very frugal. That's one thing about me. I'm super
influencer Alysha again.
Frugal. Like, so one thing about me is like, I like to have and use things multiple times in different ways. So whether it be the pajama set that I'm wearing as a shirt or my robe that I'm transitioning as a shirt, like, you can definitely check it out on my page under my reels. But I definitely have that.
It's a reel, you said, right?
It's a reel, yeah. Well, I'm showing you guys how to actually transition a robe to a shirt. Okay. So I have that.
Just that I don't think we can talk while it's playing. I could bring it up for you to see.
I cannot let up. I cannot let up.
Now that is the shower cap. I was going to say that's my second favorite. I spoke about that a little bit earlier. So that's the extra large Zodiac because my line is all astrology based. So we have the extra large satin line. So it's a protective shower cap. So we're natural, we don't want to mess up our edges, our hair chafing from those type of shower caps and head wraps. So a lot of our bonnets and stuff is satin line. So why not make the shower cap satin line? And they're kid friendly. So my friend, that's actually her son. He loves shower caps, she said. So she got him a shower cap and she got herself a shower cap as well. So that's actually my second favorite because, like I said, we'll definitely use a trash bag or grocery bag real fast and tie around our head. So you can deep condition with that. You can actually wash that in the washing machine, dry it, and reuse it again multiple times. So it definitely has longevity. So that's actually my second favorite. Right there is the shower cap. What else would I say?
Where's it go? Okay, cool. So you have a comment and a compliment.
Okay, I can't see. What does it say?
I say so it says yes, your PJ set is so comfortable.
Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. My PJ set is the OG. That's the second. That's the first item I've ever created, but the second item I've actually dropped. So that's one that's near and dear to my heart. Like, people love the PJ sets. Super, like she said, super comfortable. And I love the fact, I love this, and I thank you guys so much. Because I really was thinking of it like just a regular PJ set, but you guys saved my PJ sets to when y'all going across country. I mean, y'all be in Turkey, Punta Cana. Like, I love y'all. Dubai. There was a Dubai with my PJ set on. Like, I love the fact that y'all saved my PJ sets for special events. Like, it touches my heart so much, because I guess, like, I know that it's a quality item, but the fact that you guys cherish it just as much, like, I love it. Like, so the PJ set is definitely the OG of it all. So for sure. And I think
I said this before too, that my girlfriend has 2 pairs. So fellas,
I'm
not saying it is lingerie, but like, hey,
really okay. I didn't want to know if we wanted to get all there, but it definitely gives what it's supposed to give. Like, it's very form fitting in the right arenas. Like, if you don't got no ass, it's gonna give you a little ass. If you got some ass, it's gonna give you some wow. You feel me? Like, it definitely gives what it needs to give, for sure. Like, it fits to a T. Like, and I work hard on it. I actually sketched it out myself. So every detail I put that you see on there, I don't draw. I was really just trying to put my ideas on paper to be able to transition that to a vendor to assist me. But yeah, for sure. That definitely, like the PJ said, definitely has my heart. Like, first thing I ever created, the first idea I came up with to even start my business. So for sure. And then my last thing is not my last favorite, but it's something that I wanted to drop last year when I first came out with my business, and I couldn't get it right. Like, the vendors were not executing what I needed them to execute for me, and that's my swimsuit. So I have the Zodiac swimsuit, and my line sister, I think she's actually in Punta Cana, with this swimsuit on, and I think for me, like, I just wanted to get it right. I wanted to get the colors right. I wanted to get the fabric right. I wanted to make sure, like, it was going to be a long-lasting bathing suit, and it was going to be flattering to everybody. So whether you're petite, whether you're tall, whether you're thick, whether you're skinny, like, it's going to hug your curves. It's a high-cut fitting type of swimsuit. And it's black, so it's flattering to everybody. That's one thing that I wanted to make sure was a thing, that no matter who you are, you will be able to wear this and feel sexy and feel cute. And also, I wanted to make sure that those letters did not come off. So that was something that was important to me. So when I got my samples of my swimsuits, I washed those 20 times. They went through the dryer and the washer 20 times. And then I had another set that I actually just washed and hand dried, to see the difference, you know, if there was going to be a difference in quality from me drying it to me hand washing it, so, and air drying it. So I went through a process with those swimsuits. So I think those are like near and dear to my heart, because I wanted to make sure that those were perfect. And I was so disappointed when I could not get them last year, because I was just like, I could put this out, but this wasn't what I wanted. So the fact that I was able to get this executed this year the proper way, like, I was super excited about that. And you can wear it as a bodysuit too. So not only are you wearing it as a swimsuit, but I also wear it as a bodysuit under my jeans and my shorts.
Yeah, because she is killing this.
Yeah. And she just wearing it as a regular bodysuit. So I wear it under my jeans or my shorts, and then I just wear it as a swimsuit when necessary. So definitely, like I said, I'm frugal. So I like to make the most out of my merchandise, no matter what it is.
Women are a lot better than getting the most out of their clothes than men are.
For sure.
Because a shirt is a shirt, shorts are shorts. But like, yeah. Well, for me, I think women are more creative than men. Anyway, there's people that's gonna disagree with that, but it's my platform. I say what I say. Yeah. So what? So you said, like, you wanted to get the swimsuits last year, but you couldn't get it through. You couldn't get it done until this year.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more patient in year 2 than you were in year 1?
God is working on me daily because I have very low patience in general. Because I'm, like I said, I'm a very like, I want to get it done, I want to get it done now type of person. Like that's just who I am. Like I've tried to change that, but that's just who I am. Like I'm, my friend likes to call me an overachiever, but I just think that that's just naturally who I am. So, I feel like having a business has made me be patient when I haven't, wanted to be patient. It's made me be patient, but I feel like the times that things did not go the way that I needed to go, I feel like it worked out in the, the way it was supposed to. So, yeah, I definitely feel like I have more patience now. I mean, it's still not amazing. It's still not good. It's okay. It's okay. I can say my patience is okay, but it'll get better for sure. Let's keep on here.
So I believe your anniversary is February, right?
Correct. February 19th. It'll be our 2nd year. Why is this in my vicinity? Okay.
So let's flashback to February 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any goals coming into this 2nd year?
This year, I think for me, the goal was to find a balance. Like, because when I first came out, so I created my business in December of 2020, but I didn't launch anything until February of 2021. So I was literally on go mode the whole summer. That whole year. Just super go mode, super go mode. So for me, I just wanted to have balance, and I wanted to produce frequently. So if it was dropping something every month, it was going to be dropping something every other month. I wanted something new out in order to be able to showcase the different ideas that I had. Because one thing about me is like you'll never go on like Alibaba or AliExpress and find what I'm selling because I'm creating it from scratch. And if there's something that is already pre-made that's similar to what I have, it's still going to be unique because I'm still saying, well, I want this added, I want this taken away, or something like that. So my goal was to definitely make sure that I was consistent with dropping stuff. And I think I was doing really well with that. Up until July, I was consistently just dropping things. I slowed down a little bit because the events were being canceled because of the weather. So I wanted to have an opportunity to actually sell the things that I had dropped previously and showcase them instead of having, multiple tables of a whole bunch of things, because I feel like that could be overwhelming for the consumer and myself also. But that was definitely my goal for the year.
And what lessons have you learned since February 19th of 2022?
The lessons that I've learned is, as we said earlier, to give myself grace. And I will also say the lesson that I learned is that everything happens for a reason. I know it's cliche to say, but I feel like a lot of things that I wanted to happen or wanted to execute a certain way or whatever, like, and it didn't happen within a time frame or didn't happen at all. It was all purposeful. And I feel like I'm understanding now why those things happened the way they happened, or, uncovering why that was a better option for it to not happen the way it happened. So I think those are the main lessons I learned: to give myself grace. Things happen, the way they should when they're supposed to. And I think also the third thing that I would say is to always make sure that to speak up for myself. I feel like I was put in certain situations professionally that just was ridiculous. And one thing that I will always do, and people can categorize me as outspoken, I could care less. I'm always going to stand up for myself. I was put in a situation, June 19th, I was very much patronizing this host who was, doing pop-up shops all the time or whatever, to the point where he was using me as a spokesperson to get other vendors to sign on because I was making so much money at his event. And on Juneteenth, I did the event and they had me in the corner in the back. Like I'm talking about, it's like almost 100 vendors and I'm literally in the corner in the back. And I was pissed. I was super pissed. Because I'm like, a lot of these people are here because of me. I don't even know these people. You just had me speaking on your behalf to vouch for you. And you know, I spoke about it on social media because I just thought it was unprofessional. Like some people are like, well, you made $900. Yeah, but I could have made 16, 17 because I was just in a place where people were bypassing me. I had to really work my ass off for people to even notice that I was actually a vendor selling something and be able to attract to me because of where you position me at. And I felt like it was a slap in my face. And when I presented the situation to the person that was in charge, it was just no remorse. It was no understanding. It was no accountability. And that showed me that you could be loyal to people, but people are loyal to themselves. They're loyal to money. So that put me in a situation where I started to pay attention to certain things and understand that my loyalty had an expiration date. So I definitely spoke up about the situation on social media, and people agreed, and even discussing certain things with other vendors, they weren't a fan of that host as well because they had different experience that I wasn't even aware of. So I think that's super big too. As a woman, as a Black woman, don't be afraid of what they're going to categorize you as. It's a way to say things. It's a time and a place to say things. And I will never silence myself because I know what I bring to the table. Now, speaking honestly and frankly, if you go to a pop-up shop, you're not going to see people selling what I'm selling. And that's just a fact. People are selling candles. People are selling clothes, like, you know, t-shirts and stuff. People sell crystals. People sell waist beads. But they're not selling silk pajamas. They're not selling satin robes with zodiacs on them. Like, it's very rare that I see anybody selling anything zodiac related. And when they are, they're selling not multitudes of it. They may have a necklace here, but they have other things that they're selling. So it's like, I definitely have a niche market that I'm into and that I have. So I've even had hosts come up to me and say, I specifically want you because nobody is doing what you're doing. So I think that it's also important to believe in yourself and know what you bring to the table. So don't ever let anybody silence you, and don't let people play in your face, because people will play in your face if you allow them, because they'll take your kindness for weakness. So there's a time and a place for everything, but make sure that you're standing your ground. Make sure that you're putting yourself in positive situations that's lucrative to you, and don't let loyalty, I would say, take over you actually being respected. Because I didn't know this person from a can of paint. I was just super loyal to them because I participated in a lot of events with them, and I felt like we had a bond because you were, quote unquote, using me to help, you know, get other vendors to sign on. But little did I know, I'm putting my name out there. I'm putting my face out there for you. But you didn't even have the common courtesy to apologize to me for where you positioned me within that, you know, huge event. So, yeah. That's something I want to say as a Black woman. Just always make sure that you stand your ground and don't be afraid of what somebody may think if you know you're doing something from your heart and you're doing it right.
Yeah. So I think my next question would have been like advice that you have for other entrepreneurs. But since they seem to be messing up so much, what advice do you have for pop-up shop promoters?
I think one, respect the people that are believing in you, because we're believing in you because we're giving you our money without, that was my phone charger, but we're believing in you. So make sure that you have respect for us because we're blindly giving you our money, hoping for the best. I will say too, understand how business works. Like, everything isn't about money. Your brand and your name speaks volumes. It means a lot. So the moment that you put yourself in a predicament where somebody could badmouth you or be able to use you as an example of what not to do, you have already failed in that arena, because it only takes one person, one credible source, to say, yeah, don't do that with him, and it's over with because we're not doing that with him, you know. So I think just making sure that you're business savvy, that you understand all avenues when it comes to business and what you're putting yourself into. And I think thirdly, be honest with yourself. Don't charge $150 for a pop-up shop if you know that you cannot bring that type of crowd. You know, it's okay to charge $45, $50, because people are going to be less upset because they didn't really invest that much. So if 20 people come within 5 hours, of course people want more people to come, but If I pay $50 for an event versus $150, if I'm paying that much for an event, that's a guaranteed event for me. That's an event that I know is going to make me money regardless. Like Manchester Manifest, I pay $100 to vend with them. But I know every time I vend with them, I'm going to make money. So I don't blink an eye because I know I'm making that money right back within the first hour type situation. So I think those are the things that I would say. Those are the advice that I would give them. Just, you know, make sure that you're respecting who you're doing business with, because all this is business, whether they realize it or not. All of this is business, and people being unprofessional and not taking accountability. Accountability is the key word. If you're not accountable for what you do and you're not remorseful and apologetic and accountable, then you have a problem, because at that point you're not even a decent human being. Like if you can't say I'm wrong, I'm sorry, I did this incorrectly. Because I know if I make a mistake with my business, I'm going to go above and beyond to fix that situation and to make sure it never happens again and to accommodate you for your inconvenience. So
that's beautiful, because they do need to hear it. It's the same thing. The only other promoters I have experience with are wrestling promoters, and it's pretty much the same thing. Because like each like even like with WWE, we're all independent contractors, so you are your own business. And a lot of wrestlers do not stand up for themselves. A lot of promoters do not have the utmost respect for all of their roster, which always perplexes me, because like if you know that deep down like you don't really like this performer, why do you have them here? Even if you know, like, hey, they're gonna bring a crowd, they're gonna bring money. Like, if you don't actually like them, why would you have them in your space? If you don't like his work, why would you book him on your show? So I get a lot of promoter behavior is very, very perplexing. Also, I don't know if promoters they're supposed to pay you there, but like I know with the wrestling promoters, pay is an issue and unprofessional. Like we're just now getting to a point where workers are younger and we have social media where promoters are getting put on blast for the terrible things that they do. For me personally, I love to see it, because I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. A lot of these people that are promoters really shouldn't be.
At all. I think before you're able to get a business license, I told somebody this, I think that before you're able to get an LLC or anything like that, it should be a mandatory 5-hour business course that you have to take, and you have to take tests behind it to make sure that you really understand what it takes to have a business. I think the fact that anybody could just go online and get an LLC and call themselves a corporation or a business, it's not a good thing. I think that if you really have to put some work behind getting that, I think that people will, one, learn more, and two, they will respect it more. I really think people need etiquette in business classes, like, for sure.
So I get it, but I would disagree with that. The reason why is because if they're not exactly obstacles, but if you put more things in the way to being able to like start your own business, they will find a way to make it harder for Black and brown people.
I feel like
especially if
you're not willing to do a 5-hour course that's going to benefit you to run your business successfully, efficiently, and professionally, if you're not willing to invest that little bit of time.
But there's also paying for it, and then there's also standardized tests.
No, it should come. I believe it should come with the 100 and whatever, because I think every state varies. I think it's 100 to 150 that you have to pay for LLC. That should be incorporated. So before you get your final papers with your EI, like with your information on it, you should have to fulfill this course in order to get that LLC. And I feel like it should be included. The classes, the 5-hour class should be included in the amount that you pay for your LLC.
Okay, that makes sense. But then also,
I really feel like, and that will really separate the people that's just doing it because they're doing it versus the people that really care about their craft. I just believe so. I mean, obviously, there's going to be people that just fly through it because they want to get it, but I still think it should be a mandatory course for sure. Like, that's just my personal opinion, because I feel like people don't know the first thing about sending an email, about actually knowing the correct business hours to send an email out. Why am I getting an email from you at 11 p.m. at night? Like, that's just unprofessional. Like, those little things.
Yes. I don't email anyone at regular business hours usually, and like I do 9 to 5.
I even give people to 7 p.m. to email me, but if you email me after that, in my head, I'm like the person that I don't care if I did business with you, you super professional. In my head, I just believe that's super unprofessional. Like it's just like, even if you were like, you could schedule an email to be sent out. So even if you send like, well, I got up for work, I was busy, I had after school, you can still schedule an email to come out at a certain time. So I just believe it's just those little things that is just like, that goes over people's head, and it's just like, can make a huge difference. A huge difference.
So I'll propose a compromise. I still don't necessarily agree with it, but people could take the 5-hour course, because I know like they do this on like Indeed, where they have like exams there, and like the employers can see that you took it and get the results from that. I would only work with people who are like if they can show proof that they took this exam and they have like this licensing. Because in wrestling, state to state, you don't need a promoter's license in every state. So literally, like in New Jersey, literally as long as you can rent as long as you can rent the ring, you can have a show. As long as you get the ring and you get people and you get the wrestlers to work it, you could throw a show. Literally during the pandemic, when like you couldn't do things indoors, they were doing things in people's backyard, and the shit looked absolutely terrible, just like it sounded. And I was like, so there was, and that's what. So no, in New York you have to have a license. Virginia is another place you have to. I think the whole DMV you need a license.
Mm-hmm.
Florida you don't need. I could be wrong, but Florida I don't believe you need one. But like to your point, like as I agree with you earlier, a lot of people that are promoters should not be promoters. Like, and there's a lot of people that run business that shouldn't run businesses. Okay, so I still can't say I necessarily agree, but I think there is.
I mean, I feel like if you file bankruptcy, you have to take a course in order to file bankruptcy to make sure that you're understanding your responsibilities after you file bankruptcy, so you don't end up in the same position. So I feel like in order to say, hey, I'm dead broke, I'm financially messed up, you still have to take a course. Like you have to take a 5-hour driving course if you get tickets, or so I feel like it's holding you accountable, putting you in a situation where once you get this thing back, erased off your record or whatever it is, the reason why you're taking the course is putting you in a position to win. So I don't feel like it's going to be a different test for everybody. It's going to be the same test, but it's going to give you, and I feel like it's just an understanding, because even if the course doesn't have a test, you're taking the courses so that you can understand the bare minimum. Like my degree is in entrepreneurship business management. So I've studied business, marketing, everything, accounting, like taxes, everything for 4 years straight. Like, so everybody didn't have that experience. Some people even have a high school diploma, but they're running a business. So some things that may be second nature to us or common sense to the average person may not be that for them. And they could be great people, great entrepreneurs. They just don't know the little things that could make you from a good entrepreneur to a great one. So
yeah. So definitely I'm definitely gonna clip this and try to get other perspectives on, because the other perspectives, this is a great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I get where you're coming from. I can't say I completely agree now, but I get exactly where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So we gave advice to shitty promoters. So other young, well, not even young, other Black entrepreneurs, what advice do you have for them?
Don't give up. It could be hard, it could be challenging, it could be overwhelming, but it could also be lucrative. It could change your life. Literally, it can literally change your life. Taking a hobby, I literally took a hobby, something that I was interested in, which is astrology, and now I get paid for my hobby, for something that I did since I was 7 years old, reading the newspaper articles about my horoscope. And now I'm incorporating that in my business. So I think that it can definitely set you up for generational wealth. Like right now, in order to get trademarked, like they're 2 years behind. So I'm just waiting to get trademarked at this point. Like certain things, Yeah, it's crazy. The pandemic is it's going crazy right now. So they're like 2 years or a year and a half behind right now. So you can be setting up generational wealth. One thing that I love to see is the girl I was speaking about before, Mindful Lorraine. She has a daughter. Her daughter is 5. I feel like I was started being around her when her daughter was maybe like 3 or 4, and she brings her daughter to every event. I mean, her daughter knows how to put up a tent. Her daughter asked me, did I make a profit today? Like, her daughter knows how to speak about every item on the table. Like, that girl is going to be a beast. You know what I'm saying? I love to see that. I want to be able to take my kids to my events and be able for them to help out and understand and, pay them and let them see the real world, because that's what we're living in, the real world. So like I said, creating generational wealth, it's a lot of benefits of being an entrepreneur. I know we talk about the downsides a lot, but there's also a lot of benefits as well. And I just think, like I said, keep going, keep pushing. If you're really passionate about what you're doing, it's going to come. It's going to come. Like, a lot of events I started doing this year, and they were repetitive, so I kept doing them. That were lucrative, that I didn't want to do. Like this year, I hate outside events. I didn't have a tent. I bought a tent in like July. Yep, around the 4th of July. I couldn't even find a damn tent, and I needed a tent for the next week for a pop-up shop I signed up for. I hate outside events, but this year I invested in a tent. I invested in an outside table. I invested in a chair, a comfortable chair. Like, it's so much. I'm investing in outside lights to make sure that my tent is lit up at nighttime at these events. Like, investments that I necessarily did not want to make because I didn't really see the purpose, because I hated outside events, but outside events became my most lucrative events. So I feel like make sure you're stepping out your comfort zone as well, because you never know what's outside of that square that little bubble that you're sitting in. So that would be my advice.
Oh, cool. I also think that's something that everyone should take with themselves in everything that they do. Mm-hmm. Like you should, like you said, never give up. Sorry, my stutter comes back. But like as I said earlier when we were talking about having a defeatist mentality, is like you have to. I can't remember who said. Oh, I got it from Booker T. I remember Booker T always said, the wrestler Booker T. It's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Mm-hmm. That's why I used to watch wrestling as a kid, so I know exactly who Booker T is.
So it's just no matter what, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how dark it gets, you just gotta keep going. Mm-hmm. And it's not just keep peddling just for the sake of peddling. Like as Alysha said earlier, find the things that make you happy. Find the mm-hmm. things that motivate you. Just always remember to take time for yourself. Mm-hmm. And you should be, and as you said, like the benefits of owning your own business. I would say, well, it's not for everybody.
It's not.
People do have to know, and there's no shame in having a 9-to-5. Mm-hmm. Just make sure that they are treating you the way that you deserve to be treated. Make sure that you are being compensated the way that you should be compensated. Mm-hmm. There's no shame in having a 9-to-5
at all. I love what I do. Like, I love what I do. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also love my business too. So I feel like you can always have both. Don't feel like you have to sacrifice one for the other, because I put the same amount of effort in both, honestly.
That's beautiful. Well, as we can all see, the hustle never stops with Alysha. The light is always shining. You are a very wonderful person. I'm very happy for you. I'm happy to know you. I'm happy to have someone. Always my favorite influencer, but I'm happy that I can look at a friend and see your friend doing well. It keeps me motivated.
Agree, and likewise. Like I said, this is a great platform. I love what you're doing. Again, congratulations on you. Being sober. Sobriety is a beautiful thing, and it takes a strong person to actually realize that they need help and to get help. So I'm super proud of you.
Thank you. Right now. Thank you. Well, it's been wonderful having you. If you could tell everybody where they can find you.
Sure. You can find me on Instagram at Astor, ASTOR Clothing LLC. Our website is www.astorclothingllc.com. Make sure you check us out. We're running a swimsuit sale up until I extended it up until midnight tonight. So our swimsuits are like pretty much half off at this point. So definitely come check us out and shop with us.
Cool. And as for me, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Blak Thoughtz, at BLAKTHOUGHTZ, and follow us on TikTok. No, not TikTok. Follow us on Twitch at Blak Thoughtz, and like and subscribe to our YouTube page that you're watching right here at Blak Thoughtz, BLAKTHOUGHTZ. We are out of here. Remember, it is Friday night when we're recording this. I dedicate a portion of our money every week to supporting Black owned business. And as Alysha said, she has a swimsuit sale until tonight. Right?
Tonight. Yep.
Okay, cool. So so that is where you spend your coin. Now I'm gonna hit the site right now. And you guys
appreciate that. You guys have a great night. It was a blessing being here, and again, congratulations. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you. We'll check in on you on your journey soon. Right?
We'll do. We'll definitely do a follow-up.
All right, we out of here, family. Peace.
All right, peace.